Welcome to Shom Achshov on the Daf. We're holding in Chulin Daf Samechtes. The Gemara in the end of the base brings a Machlokes of Rav Huna and Rabah regarding a Bechora that's coming out. And when the first third came out, the owner sold it to a goy. Is the Mechir Chal or not? Rav Huna holds the Mechir is not Chal because the Bechora is Kodesh Lemafreya, meaning once he comes out, his Kedushas starts at the beginning of birth. And Rabah holds that is not Kaddish because it belongs to the Goy, because the Kedusha of the Bechora is not Chal until later in the birth. Once you get Roiv, then it becomes Kaddish Mikam Abo, but it doesn't go retroactively. So mainly what he sold to the Goy works. The Gemara says this is exactly the same Machlokes. When you have a Uber, you have a fetus, that the first third came not Derech HaRechem, came Yotzei Doifen, came Caesarean, and then 2/3 came Derech HaRechem. According to Rav Huna, so the first roiv is what makes the Bechor Kaddish. And here the first roiv, the first third was not Peterechem, it came Caesarean. But according to Rabah, the second 2/3 can make him Kaddish, and therefore he becomes Kaddish because he has a roiv Kedusha. And the Gemara continues and says that these two Machlokesim are the same. And how the Rabah asks, why have to say both? You can learn one from each other. So the Ma'arit al-Ghazi, in Brachos Perek Gimel, says, I don't understand. What's the connection between these two Machlokesim? One Machlokes has to do with, do you go Lemafreya or Mikam Velabo? When does the Kedusha happen? Does it go retroactively or it goes forward? The other Machlokes is, when is the Ikar Leido? Do you say the Leido has to be from the beginning? Or it could be the second part? What does it have to do with each other? Why there's a connection with these two Machlokesim? And the Ma'arit al-Ghazi says, I just don't understand. Nobody's asking this question. So the Ma'arit al-Ghazi answers like this. He says, the Gemara is saying, how does Rav Huna know that Miskadesh Lemafreya? That it goes retroactively? Because if not, the only way for a Bechor to be Kaddish, if he comes in one shot. If he doesn't go in one shot, he goes in different parts. You have the Bechor starts slowly. After a few minutes comes the Roiv. So if you hold Kedusha is not Chal in the beginning, it's only Chal afterwards, so this Bechor won't be Kaddish. Why not? Because Rav Huna holds that Chilas Leido Mekacho. Meaning, he holds that what makes the Kedusha is the beginning of birth. So he made it like this. If you say Lemafreya Kadosh, so you say when a Bechor is coming out, it can take him a few hours to come out. But once he reaches Roiv, Lemafreya retroactively, the Kedusha starts from the time of birth. So therefore he's Kaddish. But if you hold Mikam Velabo Kadosh, so then the only way for a Bechor to be Kaddish is if he came out in the same second the entire Bechor came out in one spot. So Yemeli Rav Huna holds these two things together. The reason he holds Lemafreya Kadosh because he holds the Tchila of the Leidos Mekadosh. And whoever argues, Rabah holds that no, not Tchilas Leido Mekacho. So therefore there's no reason to say it goes retroactively. So that's the reason the Gemara understood these two things come together. That's the pshat of the Ma'arit al-Ghazi. The other Achronim say a different mahalach. Rameir Simcha, he brings the Chiddush of Rameir Simcha, he says, he brings the Ma'arit al-Ghazi and he says, I think he says in a respectful way, he didn't chap the pshat in the Gemara. Pshat in the Gemara is very simple. The same way we find the Gabi Trumo, that if a goy owns the fruits at the time of the chiyuv of Trumo, so then these fruits are patur min Trumo. Meaning the shas chiyuv is what makes that you focus on shas chiyuv. So you made it like this. According to Rav Huna, what is shas chiyuv? What makes a Bechor into Kedusha? The beginning of birth. We don't become Kaddish till you have Roiv. Lemafreya Kaddish. You say retroactively. So retroactively, from the time of birth, he starts to become Kaddish. And when he gets to the Roiv, that's when it's Chal Lemafreya. But according to Rabah, the Kedusha is not Chal Lemafreya, it's only Mikam Velabo. And you still have to wait for Roiv. So according to Rabah, the Shas HaChiyuv is when the Roiv comes out. So this is Rameir Simcha, that's the Pshat in the Gemara. That's these two Machlokes are connected. According to Rav Huna, that you mean the Kedusha starts from the beginning of birth. So Mimele, that's why he says Lemafreya. That's why if the beginning of birth was not through the Rechem, so then there's no Kedusha. But according to Rabah, what makes the Kedusha? Not the beginning of birth, when the Roiv comes out. That moment gets the Kedusha. So therefore I don't care what happened in the beginning of birth. And very similar is brought down the Chazon Ish, and there similar ratio Dalad, where he brings Pshat on this Gemara, and he goes on to say very similar. According to Rav Huna, the beginning of the Leidah gives the Kedusha. Just, you need to have Rav. So it's from the beginning of the Leidah until you reach the Rav, that's the Kedusha. He adds that what Rav Huna means to say, the beginning of the birth gives the Kedusha, it's not an actual Kedusha. It means the process that makes this into a Bechora starts from birth until you get to Rav. Because that's what it means in Mafreya. It's a long process. According to Rabah, no. What makes the Kedusha is the point of time when the Rav comes out. And that's what also the Sri Diyesh Chelek Dalek Kedushas Bechora says. He just says in a different way, defines a little differently. He says, according to Rav Huna, the Vlad makes the Kedusha. The fetus brings the fetus, when he comes out, he gets Kedusha. So what does it mean to come out? You have to come Rav. So, but when it comes out, what's the Yitziyah? Coming out of the womb until you get to Rav. According to Rabah, what makes the Kedusha is not the fetus, but it is the Pe'ulas HaYitziyah. And how do you define Yitziyah? When the Rav comes out. So when the Rav comes out, that's when the Kedusha happens. So Meir Simcha, the Chazon Ish, the Sri Diyesh all go the same mahalach. That according to Rav Huna, what makes the Kedusha of a Bechor starts from birth onwards. And according to Rabah, it's not that, it's the time when the Rav comes out. That's why these two Machlokes connect to each other. If you hold them a Frere Kadosh, that means by definition you want here to have a lay to start from the scratch. If you say Mikamal Abba, what makes the Kedusha is the time that you get to Rav. And there's a gewaltige understanding in the Pashup Shat of the Gemara. Anyone who wants to join or sponsor Shomachshava Shiurim, please email shomachshava@gmail.com.